You would even see an SBTS speaking on it. Maybe perhaps even the customer database management system is filling a void, a gap that has been created in the organization. So my point is that you understand the question, which is what we are doing, planning your response. You understand the question now because you know what the action verb is looking out for. And then you look out for that as you go through the question scenario. So we are both saying the same thing. You will have to generate your responses and your answers from an understanding of what the question is. But my point is, how do you understand the question? Look out for the action verb, just part of it. That's what I'm trying to say. Do you see the alignment now with what I'm saying and what you're saying?
Yes, yes.
All right, cool. Let us go back to what I was speaking to. All right, so look for the action words. The action words, they help you shape what you are looking out for. Now, the next thing is audience. So think about this. You are playing a role, and then there's an audience. You must understand this helps a lot. This helps a lot. And this affects even your professional marks. You must understand your audience. And I would tell you that your audience can be of two types broadly, right? So either the audience is a very senior audience or is a junior audience. So to give you examples, a senior audience will include the board. A junior audience will include like your direct reports. So your direct reports. So when you write, you must understand who you're communicating to, because the sort of point you would make when you're speaking to a board really has to be a strategic point, because you can generate a large range of points for a question. You see, the thing about benefits of a CDMS, I'm sure if we read the question together, there can be several benefits you can itemize. There can be several benefits. But because you understand the audience, and the audience is a board, you are writing to the board. So what will you be looking out for? The lady who spoke to me, can you respond to this? When the audience is the board of directors, what are some of the points you now be looking out for now?
You'll be looking out for the points regarding the in connection with the board.
Yeah. So you'll be looking out for very
The
strategic
benefits.
benefits. Very strategic
Yes.
benefits. Exactly. So that's why this analysis is good. And then the last one, P. P refers to your professional skill. So in your professional skill, two things I want you to do for me here is to understand what professional skill is being tested, and then what is the number of marks. Because sometimes the number of marks speaks to what the examiner really wants to get. So the higher the professional skills marks, the more you must go into detail reflecting it. A commercial acumen. The thing I said to my students for commercial acumen is to make sure you use lots of business savvy words. And also understanding that cost should be lesser than the benefits. Under communication, the thing I'm looking out for in communication is the right format has been used, and also that the audience was factored in your response. Audience consideration. What am I looking out for under analysis? Under analysis, what am I looking out for? I want to be sure, because analysis speaks to investigation. So I want to be sure that all the points reflected is drawn from various exhibits. That means you did a thorough investigation. So any point you put when the commercial, the communications, the professional skill is analysis should reflect that variety of exhibits. So maybe one in SB1, one in the overview, one in SB2. That shows it's some sort of analysis, right? The other one is on skepticism. I spoke about skepticism earlier on. What I want to see in skepticism is, I would say, negative connoted words, right? So words that seem like, I disagree, I differ, I have a slightly different opinion, right? So those negative connoted words, right? So I use the term negative wording. I want to see that in your response. And then the last one is evaluation. And Maurice spoke a lot about evaluation, right? So you'll be speaking about the pros, the merits, and what could be better. What was good and what could be better. What was good and what could be better. Okay. Now let me touch on some other things now. So guys, do you have a good understanding? There was a lady who wanted to know what this RFMAVAP means. Is this clear? If the lady is still in the call, is this clear?
Yes, thank you.
So guys, if you do this for your exam, it will really help you.
Sir,
So
sir, can you go back? I want to screenshot the page.
all right, all right, all right. That's fine. And to be candid, if you even want me to drop all this on the WhatsApp group, I don't even mind anything. I
No,
have a more comprehensive document actually. I call it SBL exam tips. I can share that with you. That's also something I can do. But if you want to take a screenshot, that's also fine too.
you can move. You can move.
All right. Don't worry. Anything you guys want me to send to you, SBL is my natural home. Anything you guys want me to do for you, I'll be happy to do that for you guys.
Hey, Joe,
Yes, ma. All right.
all the professional skills mark, that means the examiner wants to go in depth in whatever professional skills in examine.
Say that again, please. So I struggle to hear you. Say that again.
Okay, so I said, you said, I just wanted to clarify. You said the more professional skills mark a question as, the examiner wants us to go in depth in whatever
Yes, yes,
professional.
yes. Look at it here now. Let's look at one. Let's look at one. Let's look at one. Look at this together with me. Below is the professional marks criteria grid for a question. The question was on skepticism. Skepticism in questioning the opinions and the assertions that were made at a board meeting. Let's look at this. See what gives you 0 mark. The candidate has failed to demonstrate any skepticism of the internal controls or of the opinions and assertions made. No demonstration of any skepticism. The candidate demonstrated no evidence. There was no evidence in his response that the candidate challenged, which is the thing I speak about negative wordings. I disagree. I take a slightly different opinion. Those things. The candidate demonstrated no evidence of challenging or questioning the internal controls or the opinions of the chief executive. The candidate failed to clearly justify why the chief executive should be removed. So no evidence, nothing at all was shown. Let's see what will give you 0.5 marks. The candidate demonstrated some but limited. So you see it, some but limited. That is 0.5. Let's look at the beginning of the one for 1 mark or 2 marks. Can you see the one for 2 marks? Let me read it for you together. The candidate demonstrated deep skepticism. This is 0.5. The candidate demonstrated some but limited skepticism. For 2 marks, they say the candidate demonstrated deep. So what is the difference between limited and deep? Is it not going into more details? To the lady who asked that question, was that Fola? Was that you?
Person. Thank you. I understand. Deep.
All right. So the higher the professional skills, the more you really speak to what the professional skill is doing. If a professional skill is for 4 marks, that challenging, that disagreement, right? Taking those views I was explaining, right? Questioning the views that were shared, disagreeing with the views that were shared, you must really highlight that a lot in your response. So it could have been 4 marks. We want to see evidence of it. These are very easy marks that are available for you for grabs. Okay. So let me give you some additional things again that I want you to do. I also think that for me personally, I think that the real work is in the SBIT. So this is what I think, right? If we think about the structure of the exam, let me show you a typical SBL exam. Let's go to the computer platform. This is your exam. So this was BCO, December 2020. So your exam is made up of 7 exhibits. So in the past, it used to be 6 exhibits because there's an overview page. But I guess ACCA didn't want to create a different tab for overview. So your exam is made up of these 3 components. So let's look at it together. You would find your exhibits. One of the exhibits, which is always number 1, is an overview of the organization. So you will find the overview of the organization clearly shown. Then you would find the 6 core exhibits. So what I think and what I want to say with you is that the work is really going through these things. So you go through these exhibits. And as you go through the exhibits, that's where you find the answers to your specific questions. So I want you to think about your SBL exam like a hunting exercise. And when I say hunting exercise, so this is the strategy. I told you that there are 3 components. There is the exhibits, there is the task, which is the same thing as the question, the task requirements, and then you have your constructed or your response option, which is your Word or spreadsheets or PowerPoint. So this is how I want you to look at your exam. How I want you to look at your exam. Start with the question requirements. The answers to the question requirements is embedded within the exhibit. And then you now put your answers in the constructed response option. I don't know if you heard me again. Start by going through the question requirements, and then you will find the answers to this question requirement as you go through the SBIT. But in starting with the task requirement, break it down using the RFMVAP approach. So plan your answers. Plan your answers. Take a question. Let's do one together. Guys, let's do one together. So I know that we have a good understanding of what I want. So let's do one together. Let me look for a question. Question 4. I want to do a question. Somebody calling my attention.
Yes,
Yeah,
can you hear me?
should have a
I may
question.
start with the A and P.
Okay, we are going to do an exercise together. Don't worry. We'll do an exercise together. Somebody else wants to ask a question. I can hear some hollback. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I have a question. So
Please.
like, do you advise that we read the overview first before we read the question, or should we read the question before we read the overview?
Okay, so let me put it this way. There's some noise from somewhere. Okay, so let me put it this way. Start with the question. So look at it this way. You're actually going to read the question twice. The very first time you are reading the question, what you are doing is to plan that answer. What you are doing, the very first time you are reading the question, what you are actually doing is to be able to do this RFMVAP. So at this point in time, what really you want to do is to break down the question, is to understand what the question is saying. The very first time that you go through the question. So I say to you, maybe I'll write it here again.
Hello, Jojo. Please, if I
Yeah.
could just add to this question.
Okay, add to the
So
question.
I didn't want to interrupt earlier, but you mentioned giving 1 hour to reading. So that 1 hour, are you saying reading all exhibits and all tasks? That is what that 1 hour is for?
Exactly. But the most important thing in the 1 hour first is this thing I want to tell you. So let me write it here. Steps to answering the SBL questions. So step 1 is to go to the requirements, which is the question. Go to the task requirements and break it down using this RFMVAP. So that's the first step. Go to the task requirement and break it down. So the first thing you do in your 1 hour, candidate sitting strategy business leader exam, your exam starts now. The first thing you do is to go to the task requirement and break it down. So for every question, what is the role? What is the format? What is the mark that is there? That quickly as you are doing the mark, you're already writing down. This is the number of points Jojo says I should make. You write it down. What are the key action words? The verbs, you note it down. Who is the audience? That helps me. Okay, I'm writing to a junior audience. I'm writing to a senior audience. I know the way I'm going to structure my points. I must make sure that my point is set at a strategic level or at a very detailed operational level. What is the professional skill? The professional skill is commercial acumen. How many marks is it? It is 4 marks. That means I really have to make sure that I'm highlighting those commercial savvy words. If it is 1 mark or 2 marks, don't spend a lot of time in it. So that's the first step. As soon as you do that, step 2, you will now go all over again from the beginning, which is you start with the overview. So start with overview. Go through the exhibits are always 6. Go through the 6 exhibits, then go back again to the task requirements. This is just to allow a flow. And after you've gone through the task requirements again, then the next thing is start answering. So if you do this thing for all the questions and you do this one, within 1 hour, you should have completed it. You are raring to go. And let me also tell you something, right? As you are going through the task requirement, breaking it down, you're already highlighting some things you need to do, especially as you now go through the SBITs. As you're reading the SBITs, you've broken down your question. So there was a question that said, advantages of a 2-tier board structure. As you go through the SBITs, there's an SBIT that tells you the current board structure and how a 2-tier board structure will help correct it. You quickly start noting it down. In fact, one of the good things you can do in a computer-based exam is that you can just copy those things and paste it so that it can help you build your points. If you can copy it and paste it on a scratch pad or copy it to your response sheet, a question says, investments in big data, you see it written, just go and copy it somewhere, come and paste it into your response so that when you want to start answering that question, you start building on those things you've seen. Are you somewhat understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Hello.
So
can you repeat? Please, can you repeat?
I don't know what you want me to repeat now. So I don't know what you heard me say last. So I know what I'm repeating because I think I said quite some things.
So what you said about going to get the requirement, copy and paste, then start building. I didn't really get.
Okay. I'm saying that by the time you've broken down this task requirements using this RFMVAP approach, right? That by the time you've done it, as you now, because this is my recommended approach. Start with the task requirements and break it down, which is to plan your response. Know the role, know the format, know the marks are allotted. That then means you should know the number of points you should make. Know the key verbs, know the action plan. In fact, let me tell you what you could even do. I've seen it in some of the mock that students in Ivy League submitted to me. So I'll give you a good one. So I start, this is me on exam day. I quickly come, candidate sitting SBL, your exam starts now. I quickly come, I jump into it. I go to task 1. This is what task 1 is saying. Explain this. I just come here, I copy it. Maybe let me try and copy it together with the number of marks so that I know I've copied everything. I come here, I just come here, I say copy. I come to my response option. This is one approach. I'm not saying it's the only approach. I come immediately and I put it down here. So this might help me. So let's say this is question 1 that I'm trying to answer. So let me come here. I might want to come here and quickly just write question 1. Okay, so what do I need to know? We are doing an explanation. So maybe I'll come here and say explanation of blah, 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 blah. So what is it that we're doing here, right? So some things I can quickly identify in this question. The new chairperson, Rani Jaffels, has recently commenced his role as with the BCO and wants to find out as much as possible about the organization. He has called a meeting with the management board and he has asked for each board member to make a short presentation to assist him in better understanding the BCO. The Chief Executive Finance Officer has asked you to present on the BCO's governance principles and activities and its financial and non-financial performance in the latest year. The CFO has asked you to assist him in preparing for his presentation. All right, so cool. I think the objective in the introduction, we are told our role. So let me just go there because sometimes you might know your role from the overview. I just want to know what the role you are playing in the question is. All right, right, this is it. So I don't know if you all can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
So what is your role? Who can see it?
We can, but it's tiny.
Finance manager.
Finance manager.
Senior finance manager.
Exactly, senior finance manager. So I can quickly get. So this is another tip I'll give you guys. I've seen this in a lot of past questions. That sometimes you can know your role by going through the overview. Going through the overview, you can know your role. So you're a senior finance manager. So somebody can quickly come. A student of mine, I enjoyed her script when I was marking. So you can quickly come, and this is the thing we know about this question, right? So I can just come here and jump at it. So I want to interpret this question properly. She quickly comes in here and say what is the role I'm playing, and the examiner might see that and I actually like that, but you get no mark for if he sees it. It's just for your own planning. Your role is a senior finance. You know why we are doing this? Let me tell you why we are doing this. We are doing this because you want to focus on the important points. You are basically processing large information on exam day. So if you don't have a technique to filter away unnecessary things, you will get stuck. Not all of you love to read narratives a lot. So I come here. This is my role, senior finance manager. What's the next thing that you're doing here in this question? You can come here and say the next thing is format. What is the format that's been asked of you? You can see it here is a briefing note. I come here quickly so that it helps you when you're making all your points. I come here quickly. I say it's a briefing note. You come here again. What's the next thing, right? The number of marks. Who can tell me the number of marks? I thought I copied it. It was supposed to show. What's the number of marks?
12 marks.
12 marks. You come here. You quickly write 12 marks. A good candidate can quickly say, Georgia has told me. How many points should we be going for?
8.
6 points. About
8.
8.
Somebody's still saying 6. 8 points. You quickly come here and write it. Who is the audience? Who am I doing this for? So you can interpret the audience to either be the CFO or the board, because the CFO is making a presentation to the board. So since they are doing it on behalf of the CFO, we say the audience is the board. Okay, what's the next one? RFM, VAP. What's the next one? V. What's the verb? What is the verb? What is the verb speaking to? So you can see that there are quite some sub questions, but explanation, right? So the verbs are really focused on explanation. All right. So you can come here and write it. And then what's the last one? What's the professional skill? Did we copy that? We didn't copy that. So let's go and look at the question again to know the professional skill. What's the professional skill? Commercial acumen. And it is 2 marks. So you might come here again. Commercial acumen, what? 2 marks. So just make quite some decent points. That is fine. Commercial acumen, what? 2 marks. That's all. You have broken this. This is what I want you to do, right? So you've done this. You might want to keep in focus here so that it helps you when you now start actually giving your response. So maybe this is actually where your actual response can start from. So from number 1, so we call it a briefing note. So those are of us at Ivy League, we know the way how we word our briefing notes. So you come here and say briefing notes for the attention briefing note for the attention of, who are we writing this for? The Chief Finance Officer, right? All right. And then you can see how you then break your sub questions. So this is what I was saying about some of the advantages I see with computer based. So I've already copied this down. You bring it down here. I've already done this analysis, and this is it. I jump into it. So perhaps this area I'm going to do it. Briefing note for the attention of the chief financial officer. And then when you are ready, you know this is what you are now looking out for. At a broad level, you've broken down the questions this way, right? And all of these questions, 8 points is sufficient across these three. So it's not 8 points for one of them. So if I make 3 points here, I make 2 points here, I make 3 points here. In total, I've gotten 8 points. So maybe for advantages of board structure, I target 2 points here. I just make 2 solid points here. Under specific nature of the agency relationship, I target 3 sound points here. Under how the mission and vision, I target 3 points. That's it. You don't have to keep writing. Some might spend 1 hour on this question. The totality is just 12 marks. So why are you burning yourself up? In fact, if a candidate was very confident in their abilities, you can even do 2 points, but I don't want you to do that because I want all of you to come out in flying colors. So 3 points for the first one, 2 points for the second one, 3 points. Have I not broken down the question so easy for you guys now?
Yes, you have. Thank you.
That's it. So
Jojo, please, I want to ask a question.
Please do.
Sorry. Will you delete this mnemonic? What is it? Role, whatever. Will you delete after analyzing, or you are going to submit everything like this?
So you are not going to be penalized for it. So if you have enough time, you might want to remove it. But if it's still there, nobody will penalize you. There's a marking we are doing for those of you who attended the ACCA mock this thing. I marked a script yesterday night, and the person left this thing there. There's no penalty for it at all. There's no penalty. But if you want to clean it up, it's fine.
Okay.
So guys, you see, it's easy. When you do all these things, you are focused in your exam question. That's why you will be like Lewis or Morris, and you will finish with about 15 minutes to go. But if you don't understand how these techniques work, you will just get bogged into, question 1A, that thing took 45 minutes, it took 60 minutes. Meanwhile, if you broke down the question, nailed it down this way, you now know what you'll be looking out for. So a good student, anything I see that speaks to the mission and the strategic objective and how it will affect the stakeholders' needs, I will just note it. Maybe perhaps as I'm even going through the S-bit, if I see it, is this not the point I saw on number 1? I just come here, copy it and paste it here. I'm not saying verbatim will not give you marks. So I'm not saying you should copy and paste it. I'm saying you can use that to somewhat flesh up your points. Do you understand what I mean? They are quiet.
Yes.
Yes.
Was Mark. Yeah.
Please, can you just go back? Jojo, please go back. I want to take a screenshot
Where should I go back
to the exam, to the CB platform.
All right.
Hello, Jojo. Did you say verbatim will not give us any mark?
In fact, it annoys the marker, actually. It annoys the marker. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Why would you want to do verbatim? So what's the whole idea around testing? You want to give the marker what he gave to you? Please don't do that. Don't lift and copy, please.
Okay, noted.
Yeah.
Wait, Jojo, sorry, my
Okay,
question
can one
is this,
lift
right?
and paste and develop on the points?
That is the whole idea around the copying and pasting. That's what I want you to do, is to develop it, not to leave it the way it is. People have done, I've been marking this for a while. People are fond of doing it, and the examiner doesn't like it. Go on, somebody wants to ask me something.
Yeah. So, Jojo, my question is this. So when you do this for all the questions, you have
That
to
is the
stretch
1
out.
hour. That is the 1 hour reading and planning time. That is the purpose. To do all this. So that by the time you are doing this will cost you, to be honest. I don't know who is asking me this question, but I'll be very candid with you. If you practice this a lot, it becomes second nature. It becomes second nature. I've been marking scripts. I've been seeing people's performance. If you master this, do it for one question, repeat it for a second question. By the time you start attempting your fourth, fifth mock, it becomes second nature. In 40 minutes, you might have even finished it. You've broken down the question. Didn't you hear when Maurice was speaking that he already had an idea? Louis said it that by the time they started writing the exam, they already knew what they needed to do. And that is what I'm teaching you all to know. By the time you've broken down your question this way, what is it that the examiner wants you to do you don't already know? You'll be like them, you'll be getting 80s and 90s because you know what the examiner wants you to do. What is it here you don't know now that you should look for the advantage of a two-tier board structure for BCO? You will find the void and you find the issues with their current board structure, and then how a two-tier board will give them an advantage. You come and list it, 2 points, develop it, and explain it here. What is the specific nature of the agency relationship that is there? You speak on it, develop it over 3 points, and you get your marks. So as you do it, you become better at it. You become better at it. That's the trick.
Hello, Jojo. Please.
Yes, sir.
John, please. So about the copy and paste thing, so I was wondering, like, okay, take for example, like you want to copy and paste from the question, you copy like 2 lines, then the remaining 2 lines is your own words, or like you have to just change everything, the whole thing.
Yes, take that copying and pasting to somehow be like a guide in your point. Look, guys, let me tell you, let's not be lazy now. If you copy something, we call it paraphrasing. If you copy something, you can paraphrase it in your own word. Is there another way to write all these things I've said? You can paraphrase now. Don't get tired to, why do you want to just copy and continue? Just paraphrase. It might just be rearranging of something, just paraphrasing.
Yeah, Jojo, please, just to remind you of the 16 key topic you mentioned in the morning.
Yes, it's in my presentation. I want to just finish this part. It's under I told you I have final tips that I will share with you. So I just want to wrap up exam techniques. All right. I don't know if our international students are still there because I know for some of them, the guys in Mauritius, they should be very late. So I don't know if we still have them on the call. So don't worry, we will not exceed the hour. So by 6 p.m. GMT, which is 7 p.m. Nigerian time, we will be wrapping up. We'll be wrapping up. Sorry if this took long. It was really the guest sessions that really stretched our time, but I guess that the added value in the conversation we had. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So thanks. We're going to be wrapping up very soon. We are coasting home. So additional techniques I want for your exam in terms of additional techniques, things I want you to reflect on. Anytime an SBIT contains financial information, please make sure that you should provide a commentary. So what I say is, if you see a question that has a financial, let me show you one. Let's look at this. Yeah, Dochiko. Yeah. Do calculations and provide the commentary. So don't just look at financial data and let it be there. Do a calculation. Maybe what is contribution per each of these companies and what does this mean? So the point I'm trying to make is that whenever you are faced with a financial data, we call it value, add value. When faced with a financial data, add value by performing the calculations and providing a commentary. So what does that mean? There's a question we did together in class, guys. When we did the question, I think it specimen 3 or so. When we did the question, we did payback period. When we did payback period, the target payback period was 5 years. And I think the payback period when we did the calculation was 4.8 years. So when you do that, you now comment. So not just you stop at the calculation, you can do that at lower level, but in an SBL class, when you do the calculation, then you make a comment. So what is the comment you would say? If the organization had a target payback period of 5 years and you did the calculation and the payback was 4.8 years, can I hear from somebody in the call? What would you be saying to the examiner?
Negative, positive.
So you would say that this project will pay back at a faster rate than the target that has been set. So it's one project that qualifies for the organization to invest in. So provide a commentary, provide a commentary, provide a commentary, provide a commentary. Another thing I also want to say to you guys before we wrap up is
Sorry,
I see.
Jojo.
Yeah.
These calculations, are we going to do it in on the Microsoft on the word processor, or we will do it on the Excel? Are we going to show the workings?
Okay, so it depends on the detail. It depends on how detailed the calculations are. So if it's a simple calculation, you can do it on Word. But if it's quite detailed, maybe like an MPV, it's best to present it in a spreadsheet. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay,
Jojo, sorry,
go
I
on,
have
go
a
on.
question also regards the calculation. So for calculations like net profit margin and everything, can we use the Excel sheet and that's the spreadsheet, and then when we're now done with calculations, when we're now narrating the whole story, we now go to Word and then
Yeah, but the only thing is that let the examiner know you've done that. So always make reference. You might say, see calculations on the attached spreadsheet. Just let the examiner know. You know what? Let me tell you what happens. All your response options, so you see them here. They are permanently stored except you delete it. Whatever you put on Word, whatever you put on spreadsheets, whatever you put on slide, all the three of them, the examiner will have access to all the three when you submit. For the purpose of time, I could have taken you guys to my marking page for the mock script I'm going through. Everything that you are working on, we will see it. Once you click on submit or the timer times you out, which is auto submitted, we see everything you have. The only thing is that your scratch pad, we don't grade it. But all your response in Word, in spreadsheets, and in PowerPoint, we grade them. All right, so that's what I'll say to you. So another thing I want to tell you, which I think is very relevant, is stress words. The examiner loves this a lot. Stress words, stress words, stress words. Please try to include, that's part of value addition. Try to include stress words. Try to include stress words. Try to include stress words. So let me give you an example of a stress word. Significant. So you might say this acquisition will be significant in our pursuit of our long-term strategy. Significant. So can somebody give me another example? Words like significant. Quality. Excellent. This has been very remarkable. There has been an improved growth. So those sort of words, we call them stress words, that somewhat highlights the point you are trying to make. The examiner likes to see the usage of those things. It really shows you understand the core or the fundamentals. So the use of stress words. Okay. We are coasting home. We are coasting home. Let us.
Sorry. These stress words now. If you see it in an exhibit, will you try to use it in your answer? I don't really get.
Okay, I'm saying that they are for emphasis. The stress word is for emphasis. So when you emphasize a word using these stress words, it means that you're emphasizing a point to the examiner. I'm saying that the examiner appreciates when a candidate is emphasizing on those things. That means thoroughly understand what the organization is trying to do. So, for example, you might say that the products are very significant. So I'm saying that the usage of stress words does connote to the marker that you're trying to emphasize a point. And when I see a candidate using stress words in their response to me, it means that they really understand the fundamentals of what the organization is trying to achieve. And that is why they are stressing that particular aspect of the organization. So I'm saying that I like to see stress words. The examiner likes to see stress words a lot. It's not from the perspective of if you see it in the SBIT. I'm saying that the usage of stress words means you are emphasizing on something. So this can also mean that if you go through your SBIT and you see stress words, that you should pay attention to them. That's also fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so let's start coasting home. I want us to end on the hour. People have been on the call since a long time. I want us to stress on the hour. Okay, we've spoken a lot about all you need to do. I've spoken about this in a lot of detail. The guide I was talking about, I've shared them. Yeah, must read documents. This document, you might want to take a screenshot of this. If you need me to drop them on the WhatsApp groups for the external guys, I can share it with you. Fine. These documents, if not, you can go on the website and pick them up. Anything you want me to do, I gladly will serve you guys. I'm happy to do that.
You have to share it.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. I'll do that.
So when can we get the link for the recording? Because I've been having network issues and we have to listen to this over.
All right, not a problem. We will get to you during the course of the week. We will do that.
Okay. Then are we going to get this material too?
Anything you want, I'm happy to share with you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so I wanted to show you guys something. I will update this analysis of past questions. So these are all the past questions that have been tested in SBO. The only thing I have missing on this is the particular company that was tested in March. I tried to get that before the class, but I would get it before I share it with you. So what's the essence? I find that if you understand different industries, or does somebody want to tell me, is there someone in the class who wrote in March? Does somebody here want to tell me the name of the case study, the organization that was tested? Let's see, so I can just update that now here.
Jojo, I sent you a message. Is check your WhatsApp. I think it's LEP.
LEP.
Let me check 1 second.
Oh, all right. Don't mind me. I've not looked at all the WhatsApp chats I have are quite much. I've not looked at that.
Sorry, Mr. Jojo. Mr. Jojo, this December, is it BCO? I thought BCO was September.
BCO was September. BCO was September. You're correct. BCO was September. So what I wanted to write here is September, December actually.
LEP. So it's manufacturing and packaging.
LEP.
Yeah.
All right. So this is December. Sorry. It was a data analytics audit accounting firm, something in December. All right. I can work on that. See the experienced people on the call. So she just corrected me. This was September. You can know that the lady really went through that paper. All right, cool. Yeah. Okay, guys, I promised you this. You have it. You have it. Please read them. If you want to take a snapshot, take it. Take it.
Please, can you provide them on the platform, please?
All right, not a problem. Not a problem. Anything you want me to do, I'll do.
God bless you. Thank you.
All right, top models I want you guys to go through. and I'll share them with you. All right. So in conclusion, guys, so what do I want you guys to do? Have a study buddy, have a study partner. It works. It works wonders. You can call it an accountability partner. It works. Self-motivation might not really help you in a paper like this. Guys, look, is it not boring? 14 to 18 pages of information. Have an accountability partner, a study buddy who is pushing you, asking you. So you say to yourselves today, tomorrow morning, let's wake up by 4 a.m. Morris did not say that part. When he was practicing, sometimes he and Lewis, and there was a third guy, there were three of them together. They would wake up by 4 a.m. and do a mock till 8 a.m. Right? And because we were working remotely and then focus on the work for the day. So you can have an accountability partner. You guys will say to yourselves, we want to do this mock today. We want to do another mock on Wednesday and all that. It works a lot for motivation. It works. So have a study buddy. On the WhatsApp group, you can post to yourselves and say who is happy to be an accountability partner or a study buddy. It works. And you guys might just, be the next Morris.
Jojo, sorry.
Sorry, Mr.
That's
Jojo.
a challenge. So many people, they do not want to be, they like to be self motivated, if you understand what I'm saying. So not so many people want to be study buddy. It's helpful, but not so many people want to. So just for the group, I'm happy to be a study buddy with anyone who wants to, please.
I'm looking for one as well if you want to.
All right, you can see it now. I'm already matching people now. So don't worry, you can start matching yourselves together now. That's fine.
Hello.
You recommend to be
Hello. Can we get the group?
Hello, let me finish. There's Q&A. After this, I'll take questions.
For people that are not on the group, how can we get the link to the group?
Which groups?
SBL group, WhatsApp group.
You're in an SBL group now. Is there anybody in this class that is not in an SBL group? We just have two groups. For our internal guys who are our students, and then the external guys. There's a group for you. So maybe I don't get your question. All right, let's go on. But if you're not in a WhatsApp group, do let me know. I'm going to share my details shortly. Okay. Well, it's late to say studying an approved learning provider. So do lots of mock. So do only case study questions. I'm happy to say this at this stage. Stop doing short questions. I don't want to see anybody doing a short question. When I mean short questions, all those BPP questions or Kaplan questions that will be 15 marks on maybe technology. I don't want you doing that now. Stop doing that now. Do only case study questions. And I can share with you all of them if you want. I even have extra if you want. There are a lot of SBL webinars. Please
do. Please.
Yeah, there are a lot of SBL webinars. Please look at them. Lots of SBL videos. Please watch them. Technical articles I can share with you. Practice questions. All right, guys. So let me give you a parting shot before I go. This is me. My name is Jonathan. Like you saw me. If you want to have an idea how I look, this is me, just in case you come across me. So this is me. Right. Jojo, you could reach me on WhatsApp. This number. If you've got anything you want to share with me. I'm on your WhatsApp group, by the way, but just so you know, you could reach me for the purpose of the diaspora guys. So anything SBL, APM, I love them. These are my babies. I love these papers passionately. If you are sitting for APM, we'll be meeting in 3 weeks' time. My email address is Okay, so let me give you this one. So this is N meaning Nigeria at yahoo.com.
Is that 5, please?
Yeah, that is 5. I hope this is clear enough. I am also the head of learning at the school. And for some of those inquiries, you could send an email to me at ceo@ivyleaguenigeria.com. Right. Yeah, so that's it about me. So you can reach me by WhatsApp on this number. Anything SBL APM, perfectly fine to speak to you on it. All right, so next step, and then we call it a day. Next step. Do you know what is my next step to you guys? Solve. 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 Questions. Just solve questions. And I promise you guys that when the results are out on July 16, I'm going
It
to
will be
get a chat from you.
excellent.
I'm going to get a chat from you.
I'm gonna score 90.
I'm going to get a chat from you saying, Jojo, thank you. I made it. So,
I see you. Very nice. Very nice.
This side.
Jojo, please, I have a question.
What's the question?
So, for someone that has written the paper maybe once or twice, can the person still stand a chance of being the best student in the current exam?
If you can't think it. If you can't think it.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is, I hope they don't, like they don't go back to the previous attempt.
Haba. Who has that time? Look, SCCA wants you to pass. The money SCCA wants you to pass. So just forget about that. So aim for it. Aim for the stars. Aim for it. We'll be proud of you.
Find out how that's going to happen. Let me tell you how this election is going to work. All right, one by one, we're going to go into the big contestant lounge, pull out one person.
Please, I have a last question.
What's the last question?
If I haven't done the EPSM, does it matter?
To be honest, at this stage, you might not want to put yourself under a lot of pressure. So just focus on what you have to do.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. For those of you from outside the country, it's been a pleasure. It's been a privilege to have had this session with you since morning. So have a lovely, lovely time. And I'll see you on the other side of the divide, which is that you pass your exams. I'll be very proud of you. Take care of yourselves, guys. It's a
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
It's
God bless
material,
you.
no relevant materials.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Jojo, hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I saw a mock question that bordered on IPO valuations, and they were like analyze or talk on the IPO, and I was lost. I didn't know what to
On the
talk
IT
on
what?
it and everything.
On the IT what?
IP initial public offering.
Share it with me. Let me see it. I can't tell from your explanation, and I'm even tired. Let me be very honest. But share it with me. Let me see it.
It's the SCCA mock.
Okay. The SCCA more question. Okay, I'll look at it. Did you attempt it?
Yes.
All right.
For that question one.
All right. Take care of yourselves. You guys go and relax. You guys work too hard. It's okay. Take care of yourselves. Go and rest.
Hello, Jojo. Hello, Jojo.